here are three reasons why I'm still buying Pyth. Reason number one is because I like its room for growth, even though nothing I say is financial advice, but just let's take this into imagination. Let's say Pyth were to go to the price of $10, which is my price target for it during this bull run. At that point, market cap, considering current circulating supply, would be around $36 billion. So it's actually not that bad anyways. You've seen Dogecoin reach over 80 billion, but you've seen Shiba Inu reach around 40 billion. And this was years ago, back in 2021. So I don't think it's too much to ask for. Now, with that out of the way though, is this a bad upside, hypothetically? I don't think so, because if, let's say again, it were to go to the price at $10, that's around a 39x from here. Theoretically, if I were to put $1,000 into Pyth right here, right now, and let's say Pyth were to go to the price of $10, at that point, my $1,000 would be worth around 39 grand. Now, people may think, okay, that's kind of bad, but really, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's that bad at all. Now, people like to say that, oh yeah, when it comes to Pyth, why are you so into it? If you like upside so much, why don't you get into a microcap? Well, I'm not looking for that. That's a little bit too much risk for my appetite. But at the same time, I'm not looking to get into dinosaurs. Like, for instance, I'm not trying to FOMO into, Ethereum or a Bitcoin or a BNB. That's just not my style. I don't want to do that. I'm not saying they're bad by any means. They're going to do good. But it doesn't necessarily mean that when it comes to, me acquiring it, I have to acquire that. I want something in between. I don't want a microcap. I don't want a dinosaur. And that is something like Pyth, in my opinion. I think it does perfectly fit the bill. Now, people like to say that, yeah, Pyth is a terrible project. It sucks, all this type of stuff. Well, I disagree, because this actually brings me to my second point as to the second reason as to why I'm still buying Pyth. And that is because I think that the Pyth network is absolutely amazing. Keep in mind that the Pyth network is a blockchain oracle for market data. Now, people may be thinking, okay, what does that even mean? Let me explain, because an oracle in this case is basically a data feed that brings data from off the chain, aka off-chain data, and brings that data over into the blockchain. Now, why is this necessary? It's because without this, again, off-chain data, many decentralized applications out there, they simply wouldn't be able to function properly. So if you think about it, oracles could be argued as the backbone of many decentralized applications, really, if you think about it in the literal sense, right? Now, this is just theoretical. But when I take a look at Pyth, it really does remind me of something like Chainlink, because when you take a look at Chainlink, it's most widely known for its decentralized oracle network. So people would argue that, hey, when it comes to Chainlink, it's like 1A, but then Pyth is like 1B, It's kind of like sort of XRP and XLM. We all know that XRP is the number one, but then the number two always feels like XLM. In this space, the XRP, quote unquote, if I were to put an analogy on it, is like, Chainlink. The XLM is like a Pyth. But then here's the thing. The way you take a look at it is that Chainlink market cap is really massive. We all know that, right? I'm still bullish on Chainlink though, but then when it comes to Pyth, it's as if I went inside a time machine and then I went back in time and acquired Chainlink, or should I say Chainlink's native token called Link, but then at a much lower point. It's not like way lower in the sense that it's not, again, a microcap or anything like that, but then it just kind of gives me that vibe, if that makes sense. It's kind of like Chainlink before it became Chainlink. It has the opportunity to, but again, that's just the way I view it. Now, let's not forget, right, when it comes to Pyth, it's even been stated that, again, the Pyth network can, for instance, provide price feeds for smart contracts. So that's really amazing. Not to mention as well, according to Solana, the Pyth network is a high-frequency oracle built using Solana ecosystem technology. Now, why is this amazing? It's because if you take a look at Solana, arguably, people would say that it's one of the best day one blockchains of all time. Very fast, very scalable, very low in gas fees. Adoption isn't as good as Ethereum, let's face it, but then it's heading up there. This is very amazing. Now, let's not forget as well, when it comes to Pyth, not only do I think it's in the right place, but not to mention, even they themselves claim that they deliver real-time market data for cryptos, equities, FX, and commodities to over 50 blockchains. So yeah, that's very impressive. Not to mention, it has over 95 major market participants, which includes giants in the exchange space, much like, Bybit, Binance, and OKX. So this is really fantastic in my opinion. Not to mention, doesn't end there though, because currently Pyth is allegedly helping facilitate over 500 data feeds to over 300 applications. So yeah, for the people who say the adoption isn't the best, well, it isn't, I'll agree with that, but then it's heading up there, right? So the way you take a look at it is that Pyth, it's a no-brainer pick for me. I think Oracle's, when it comes to this space, really, there isn't even that many dynamic competitors. People often only know Chainlink and Pyth. Of course, there's others, like for instance, Daya. You take a look at Flare, it has the Flare time series Oracle, but really, there is no, mass scale competitors. Or should I say, like, there isn't a large group of competitors, like for instance, in the NFT space, or like, let's say the blockchain gaming space. There isn't like that many, competitors, I would say, right? This is still a market that's kind of up for grabs. Now, somewhat in a lighter note, I would say that Pyth is also arguably focused on, we take a look at the DeFi market, because it does have a heavy emphasis towards DeFi, which is decentralized finance, which I don't think is bad, by the way, because the DeFi market, according to Grandview Research, is predicted to be worth over $200 billion by 2030. So the way you take a look at it is that Pyth, it's a very complete project, and I'm very bullish on the Pyth network. Now, people may be thinking, okay, you say Pyth is amazing and all this type of stuff, but this board is going to be bad. Well, I'll disagree with that, because this actually brings me to my third and final reason as to why I'm still buying Pyth. And that is because, it's even been said, right, historically, that a high tide raises all ships. At least I've heard, to my understanding. Now, why does this matter? It's because I think that as Bitcoin reaches that next level of 150,000, 200,000, and maybe even beyond, I think Pyth is going to go along with the ride. Now, why do I think this could hypothetically happen? It's because currently there is over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research, which is more than ever before in history, because even during the peak of the 2021 bull run, there was roughly only around 300 million crypto owners. So now we basically have double. And again, you take a look at the Bitcoin ETF, and really it's going to create this positive sentiment. And I think that when it comes to Pyth, as this bull run progresses, as let's say it goes to May, June, July, maybe even beyond, this could be very amazing. And historically speaking, how soon could altcoins peak as a worst case scenario? We do know that usually altcoins, as a worst case scenario, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. Now, when did the last Bitcoin halving event happen? It happened back in April of last year. So 18 months from then would actually mean around October of this year. So the way I view it is that we could very well still have a ways to go, but then really in the grand scheme of things, it's not even that far. Because again, we're in February as of right now, right? We're nearing March. So October doesn't even feel that far. Now, we take a look at, for instance, who could very well think that 2025 could be a special year? That is the co-founder of Ethereum and the founder of Cardano himself, called Charles Hoskinson. He does predict that, based on a video that he was a part of back in November of last year, he said that 1 to 2 years from then, he said that he could very well see Bitcoin reaching anywhere between $250,000 all the way up to $500,000. So if we assume his best case scenario timeline, which is a year, so let's say November this year, and worst case scenario price target for Bitcoin, $250,000, could you imagine if Bitcoin reaches $250,000 in November this year? At that point, Pyth at the price of $10 may seem a little bit bearish, in my opinion at least. So that's why I'm still staying patient. Anytime I do an income, I'm acquiring, I'm holding, and I'm just waiting. That's it when it comes to Pyth, because I don't want to give up on it. I really do believe in this project. And again, that right there are 3 reasons why I'm still buying Pyth. I think it's wonderful, and I think it's a must-have for my portfolio, even though I don't only just own Pyth, but I do believe it has to be one of my foundational pieces, because again, $10, that wouldn't shock me whatsoever during this bull run. And make sure to subscribe if you gained value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.